Okay, marker number 3, we're ready to work on. Remember how important it is. We are just looking for 6 top markers. In these 6 top markers, you are going to be able to know what to do with your client with ease, with efficiency, and with accuracy every time. So our third marker is going to be food triggers. Now, this does not have to come from an allergy test. It does not have to come from intolerance or sensitivity. They do not have to be diagnosed with anything specific, but there does need to be a way for you to assess if foods are causing challenges for them, if foods could be a causative factor in the outcome of their symptoms. So again, on the equipment that I use bioenergetics, and so I will run common foods panels that will show me the degree of inflammation that will happen when a particular food comes in. You can use kinesiology, you can use muscle testing, you can use a food questionnaire. If you are a diagnostician, you can use an allergy report. You can also use a person's CMP, so in their blood labs, we typically will get a CBC with differential and a CMP. You're going to look for things like erythrocytes, for example. Erythrocyte sed rate will be an example that there's potentially, not diagnostically, there's potentially some inflammation that's coming from foods themselves. If we are looking at the CBC with differential, you're going to see words like neutrophils, lymphocytes, eosinophils, basophils. If eosinophils is above 3%, for sure, we usually want to see it below 1%. But if it is for sure above 3%, check, there is evidence that food inflammation could be part of the underlying causative factors. In my case, if I'm seeing eosinophils and they're above 1%, I am definitely adding that to my evidence. And it's not just going to be one thing that is going to be helping you evidence that there's some signs of this happening. You're going to pull it all together by what they're saying, by what their history is, by what their family history is. And it's all about just listening to what they're saying to you. So when you are assessing the food inflammatory triggers, let's get back to the CBC. You can see it on eosinophils. You can see it in erythrocyte sed rate. You can see it in a child if their growth chart is not, it's kind of trending downward or trending lower. That often can be signs of food inflammatory triggers. Let's say you suspect celiac in a child and you've done the celiac test that would indicate that, and it failed, it was negative. That does not mean that food may not be causing some inflammatory trigger action. So the cells could be getting defensive if they are not digesting correctly. This goes beyond just food allergies, so we can't just rely on just an allergy report for this. If you use the metabolic symptom tracker book and they are completing the metabolic symptom tracker, they don't even have to do multiple weeks right from the start. Their very first beginning tracker, if they are evidencing sections 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, that is a high likelihood that there is some food inflammatory relationship here. So the more sections that they have of 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, and 9, the better the evidence for you that yes, there is some food inflammatory trigger action here. Okay, let's move on to marker number 4.